Welcome to the Offspace podcast. It's your host with the motherfucking most, Chuka. And it is your favorite co-host, I guess, but it's just like, this nigga not here no more. This nigga not here no more. It's weird. I always wait for that little gap, like every single time, but it's not there. But we have someone still amazing here today with us. My dog.
Pretty Mookie in the building. I guess I'm the co-host today.
Yes, sir. And with the new format with the podcast, it's something that I'm going to go over probably every time. So it might sound annoying for the first few weeks, and then I might let it fizzle out just so people get used to it. But my main idea for this summer is to make the Offspace as, well, not just this summer, but going forward, in Ezigo's absence from directly hosting, I want to make it as collaborative as possible. So I wanted to just reach out to all the coolest people I know in the city. Mook's definitely one of those people. So we're here to just kick shit, here to just chop it up. And so getting into the beginning, first things first is how you been. How you been, especially with, I want to hear how you've been super recent, but also how you've been with the transition of 2021 from 2020. Because the last time we spoke to you was in 2020. And so that was at the top of all the turmoil and everything going on in the world. Right. Has your life significantly changed going into 2021? What's happening with you?
Truthfully, a little bit of up and down. A little bit of downs, a little bit of ups. Been on the upswing recently, though.
Yes,
for
sir.
Sure. Tapping in more into my creative side. That's usually what I do when I get into any type of down, and that usually brings me back to normal. So things have been good. Things have been good. Family life has been good. I can't complain right now. Can't complain.
It's meditative, to be honest. Like,
absolutely.
This creative shit, that's one thing that I will never take for granted. It's like I had the imposter syndrome for a while, or when it came to just like being around the entertainment or being around music. But when you see the healing qualities that it has for yourself, you can't mistake it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know it's something that you love. So I love hearing that. And with the ups and downs that you've been going through, do you feel like, you said you felt a lot more positive as of recent, of course. Has it affected the music, do you think? Because if you haven't watched the first episode that I had with Mook on there, Mook's an Atlanta rapper, or do you identify as an Atlanta rapper?
For sure.
For sure. I just want to make sure, since I know we all got a lot of influences, we all got a lot of places that we work with.
I'm out of Gwinnett, but you know, it's all Lillian.
No,
it all coincides.
Same shit, my boy. Same shit. And so, with music and with Atlanta rap and everything right now, do you feel like the world, your moods, like how everything's been affecting you has kind of come out in the music that you have in the tug?
For sure. Especially with the music that I've been making recently. I've realized that music is more like a diary type of thing for me. So going back through it, I can listen to it and hear how I was feeling at that time and see how, okay, I don't really feel like that anymore. I'm doing better. Like, kind of gives me the confirmation that I'm not necessarily in that low vibration at this moment. I can listen to my music and be like, okay, this is how I felt then. This is how I felt then. This is my opinion then. And then I'm looking at it as
growth.
Exactly. Especially emotionally.
I dig that though, because that's something that I underestimated until I started enjoying the podcast, right? And what I mean, it's like sitting here and speaking, I've enjoyed since the beginning. But like, I'm someone that's extremely critical of myself, like I feel like most of us are in this creative shit. And so like,
that's very normal.
Oh yeah, I gotta scoot over our actual co-host Oliver. Shouts out to this man,
the real host,
the
real
man
star
of the house
right here.
But one thing I noticed is that when I started enjoying listening to the podcast, because I've always liked podcasts, but believe it or not, as narcissistic as people want to say I am sometimes, it's like I hated my own podcast till like about a year ago, to be honest. It's like it took that long for me to feel like the product was to a level that this could be a part of my everyday. You know,
from
what I'm
you
saying?
critiquing yourself.
Because I listen to a bunch of podcasts. You listen to podcasts. Like, we all listen to stuff. We play stuff. Even when it comes to music, right? Do you remember the first time that you made a song and you were like going through shuffle on your phone, like going through the stuff you're listening to, you hear Wayne, you hear Drake, you hear you, and you're not tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. You were happy. You remember the first time that happened?
Absolutely.
What was the first time that happened?
That was, was that college? It had to be like my freshman year or my sophomore year. All that shit kind of runs together because I drank too much. I want to say my freshman year. I made this song at my boy Shelly crib. It was called Ginobili. And random ass name, but I just remember I was listening to it and it came on, like you said, on shuffle. And I was hearing it and I was like, that was like my first song that I remember the quality was where I really wanted it to be.
Where you were like, this can join my playlist. Like I could
exactly.
listen to
even
this,
though I don't like it now, but I remember getting that feeling.
The
like,
moment,
like,
though.
yo, this sound good right here.
Bro, that's a great feeling though. That makes you feel like
I
you
can
can
hear
do
this
this
to somebody's playlist. I like this.
Right? That makes you feel like you can do this shit for real.
They give you the confidence for sure to keep going. Once you hear something and it sounds like it could be in someone else's playlist and it don't disrupt your mood or what you listen to, like, okay, maybe I got something.
For sure. Like what, bro? I can't listen to the first few podcasts we recorded, bro. That shit is so terrible. Like, so
nobody's gonna judge it more than you.
What? Sure. That shit is ass. Like, I'll have some people go all the way back to like the pilot or episode 1, 2, like that kind of shit, and be like, "Oh, it's still funny, haha." All I do when I press play is I hear stuttering. I hear, "Damn, Chuka, you were high as hell." Like, like you really sounded crazy. Like, I hear like horrible audio quality. I hear I hear like so much stuff that I feel like I've picked up and gotten better at now, to where it's unlistenable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like garbage to me. But I still, even in the moment, I remember it was probably after the run, because I had my dog Cullen, which I just interviewed my dog Cullen earlier today too, and he would help co-host. We went in on sports for the most part on that one with the NFL draft and everything. But I had you two, and I think I had like 1 or 2 good episodes with Ezigo. And I think that was like a 4-episode run where I finally like sat down and I was like, damn, like this sounds good. Like I could play this shit like driving. I could play this shit like at the crib, just doing stuff, like the typical areas that I listen to podcasts.
Right.
But then going down a little bit with you recording and like some of the new influences on your music, do you feel like I've heard a lot of creatives at a point in 2020, because we're going to go low and then go high here. Like, at a point of 2020, I was hearing a ton of creative people kind of feel washed in a sense, like where they felt like they were at the lowest of creative juices flowing. Like they felt like nothing was coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no ideas, nothing. Did you feel like you had a moment like that within the last year? Where you felt kind of stunted?
For me, it was kind of weird. Like I had all the ideas, but the energy to actually put those ideas out to everyone was low, like at its very lowest.
Where you just couldn't even bring yourself.
Like I was able to drop my last single and do what I wanted to do with it and put a video out, but I was feeling that energy where it was like I'm making more stuff. I want to do more stuff, but the energy to put it out was just not there. Like I don't know what was missing, but it was like draining.
Do you think it had to do with like overall more with the world, overall more with like yourself, or overall, well, yourself, it's going to be the whole encompassing thing, of course, but it's like, or more with like, I think I got to a point, I felt both of these. So that's why I'm asking which one it kind of leaned on. One point I felt low of, I felt like there was nothing. I was scrambling so much in my head for what to give to make it go to the next level that I felt like I stunted myself. Like I had nothing, you know, like I just drained all my energy. But then there was another side where I felt like the process, because everyone has to put your footwork in. Everybody has to, you know, do what they do for the most part, you know, when it comes to this shit. And I felt like seeing the reality of what it was going to take at a point kind of made the energy go down lower. You know what I'm saying? Because it made it seem a little bit more daunting, a little bit more looming of a task. Was it either of those or not even?
A little bit of that. Kind of like stacking what I wanted to do. Like I want to do this. Oh, but I can make it greater by doing this. Oh, I can take it to the next level if I do this.
Oh,
and just kind of like,
you were almost perfecting an idea so much in your head, just
not because especially with music, I think it's much better if you're able to simplify it in some way, especially with the release strategy and what you want to do with it, because it can turn into that never-ending page. Just keep turning. Just I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then you'll never do none of it.
And then you just sit on a ton of shit.
You got a bunch of great ideas, but it's like, what do I do?
That's something, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's that ADD shit. Like, be real.
Facts. This is
like,
exactly
be
what
real. Like, you'll be sitting back.
I know what we're talking about. That's exactly what it is.
3 trillion ideas going through your head, and it's just like the energy to make any of them like come forth is hard, man.
And they all seem amazing.
And they all seem like good ideas. One thing I started doing that's helped a little bit is, I don't know if you saw it, but I talked about like the voice note shit. Like, I'm telling you, my brother was telling me about it, and I thought this nigga was just really just doing the most, like, trying to be
You mean like on the phone?
technology guy, but it's just like, nah, I really will. It'll be like 2 a.m. I'll think of an idea, or I'll know I need to meet somebody, know I need to talk to somebody, like whatever, to make something happen, make something move. I'll really set a reminder for 3 p.m. boom, boom, boom to do this. And seeing it again sometimes helps re-jog my memory for that specific idea on what to do. Like even when I hit you about Conway, like I set that reminder in my phone so that I can like give it some time to like sit on the idea, sit on like how we could make it happen before I even reached out to him. And then when I saw that notification again is when I instantly texted him again. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it helps you keep stuff in order.
And you feel like that voice note jogs your memory for it.
Because you need little tips and little tricks that you could do. Everybody's different, of course, but I mean, like I just found certain shit that has helped me. But moving along there, while we are on music, what have you been listening to, like just to get into heat checks?
As of recent, I've been getting into. Well, first of all, there's a new Ludacris verse, and I haven't heard one of those in a while.
Bruh, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is where you might get upset at me. Well,
man, don't do it. Don't do it.
I was sitting in this music group chat out, man, where niggas were just going there, and shouts out to the Sons and Critics music chat, because that shit is hilarious. But like, niggas were talking about the Ludacris verse, right?
Yeah.
And I just had to be the Debbie Downer, and it's not even. Because I want to start with love first. It's like, I understand Ludacris' achievements. I understand everything he's done. Truly. He's a legend for real, and I'm never going to deny him being a legend. It's just like, I've been one of those people early, and I hope people he knows, and bro, he's nothing but a legend. Like, I never even want to undermine Ludacris for real. Like, I want to be real about that. But it's like him, Currency at a point, but Currency has switched for me. But for some reason,
he's telling me I'm not gonna like this opinion.
Bro, there are some artists that I know are fire, but I just their voice or whatever, I can't do it. Like the last Ludacris version, the last verse I liked from Ludacris on God was should have been on the original version. You know, like the fucking Khaled, like all I do is win remix verse, bro. I'm telling you, like it's few and far between. I'm not really like the big Luda guy.
Well, you gotta listen to it.
So I heard the verse.
Oh, you heard it?
No, I heard that he had a verse, and I was like, I can't press play. Like, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I know.
It's a goodie, I promise you.
Really? It's hard?
I'm trying to take it's Conway, JID, and Ludacris.
Oh, it sounds like he has to tweak. So if he's on with their Conway and JID.
Now.
See, that's something
got back in that bag for sure.
I feel like I can't even hate on that because there are certain artists that no matter what I'll feel about somebody, if they are with a JID, if you are with Conway, you're probably gonna put out a quality verse.
It's a good verse. I promise you, it's a good verse. It's a good song. I've really been rocking with that whole project recently. That La Maquina or something like that.
The newest Conway?
Yeah, it's Machine in Spanish. That's all I know. But I'm rocking with it. That's what I've been listening to recently.
I fuck with it. I fuck with it. Like Conway, the whole Griselda movement is one of my favorite movements in hip hop, but only because of how authentic they've been able to stay themselves. But I like the fact that I think that a lot of niggas are tripping. Like Benny is the only person, and mind you, Benny's my favorite member. And I know a lot of people it's Westside, a lot of people it's Conway. It goes around for everybody.
Right.
But like Benny's the only one I feel like stays pretty typical in his like verses. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like you kind of know what you expect from a Benny verse. I feel like Conway's gone out of the box. I feel like Westside's gone out of the box. So I feel like a lot of the critiques that people have for Griselda aren't really true critiques. You know what I'm saying? It just means you don't really listen to the music personally. But if you had to pick a certain song from like probably the past couple weeks that you've been really rocking with, what would your heat check be for this week?
I'll go with that. Scatterbrain.
Scatterbrain?
I think it's called Scatterbrain. Conway, Ludacris, and JID. I like the whole project, but that's been one of the standouts for sure. Just because it's a Ludaverse. I don't know if I just been not tapped in, but I ain't heard of Ludacris in a minute. Last time I seen Ludacris was on the movie.
That nigga been an A-list movie star for so long.
You feel me? Like I haven't heard him rap.
He probably hasn't put out like real rap verse in a minute. So
it makes sense that the Griselda boys would be the ones to bring him back out.
Of course, no. And for like the moment, like please let me just give Conway his credit on that one. Just even being able to pull Luda for a verse is a moment. You know what I'm saying? So like we gotta definitely give respect where respect is due there. But Scatterbrain for you. For me, I'm gonna use the same one that I used earlier, just because it really has been the number one song I've been listening to. It's "Trenches" by Morray. Like, that nigga a superstar to me. Like, I think his whole, like, that's the nigga that Quicksand.
Got you. Okay,
Like,
okay.
he put out his album just came out.
Is that melodic style like his normal thing? Okay.
And like that is I've been fucking with it more.
Quicksand,
bro. What?
Quicksand, I like Quicksand.
That song crazy.
I heard that, I was like, yo, who is this?
What? I saw that.
I had to look it up.
And then I saw the video. I was like, bro, he looked like this. Like, bro, I love it though. Like, I love it though. Like, it's just a real nigga. It's just like, I love that because he's real. You know what I'm saying? And you see the reality of it. You don't see the, for instance, that a lot of people don't know, I guess, when it comes to music. PND, one of the number one people in music, one of the number one people when it comes to like his pen, like a lot of the accolades he's assumed. One thing that I noticed in music quickly, and this goes with anything that you have to market, so this isn't me singling Party out at all. This is every artist. I'm just using Party because it's an easy example for me mentally. I remember Party came into the game, a heftier dude, like bigger, had his braids, like probably, like he had like video game shirts on and like shit like that. And then they completely changed his image. You know what I'm saying? Completely changed his image, and he became one of like the cool people in hip hop. And so like I like Morray for the opposite. Because it seems like now, because PND came in at like the tail end of you have to kind of follow the rules to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Seems like he's just him.
It's just him. It seems like no marketing company is about to tell this nigga lose 100 pounds, take the gold teeth out, like this kind of stuff. They're gonna be like, no, like we like your personality, we like who you are, we don't need to change shit. Be you. And I like that. I like that a lot.
This is definitely the era of you could definitely get on by just being yourself, for sure. I mean, there's certain little boxes they try to put you in, but for now, you could definitely do you.
If you find a way to get some sort of organic buzz,
the more different, the better right now.
What? And more versatile, the better too, as well. Just because that's something because being creative in general or loving music, I try to think about what vein. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not somebody that is afraid of comparison, because I know a lot of people get offended by comparison, and they hate when you try to say, oh, you sound like this, you sound like that. Bruh, everybody on the planet is influenced by somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people that make music right now, and I can just look at them and be like, Hove, Drake, X. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell where shit came from. And so that's why I wish people would quit being so offended by, because if people can still hear your influences strongly, then that means you just haven't found yourself yet, which is okay. Every artist has to find themselves. Like, Hove came into the game sounding like somebody. Like, M came into the game sounding like somebody. Like, everybody came into the game sounding like somebody because you love music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, like, when I sit and I think about the vein, if you had to, do you think personally with your music career and where you want to go that you're going to have a lane, or do you want to be kind of in the vein where you feel like, do you feel comfortable doing anything? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to rapping. Because now rapping isn't really one-dimensional anymore. Like, there's so many veins that go into rapping now.
I mean, right now I'm just trying to do my own thing for real. I've been experimenting with music for a long time. It took me a long time to find exactly what was my lane, what I'm really good at. So right now I'm just trying to stay in that lane, to be honest. I mean, I'm open to, like, if I get a feature or something, to do something that's a little out of, because I feel like I can do anything in music. But right now I'm definitely focused on just
staying kind of in your lane,
giving what I can give, just showing that this type of music is what me and my team can bring to the game. And
I fuck with that just because it was actually Mac Miller. He said something about, he hates when he hears, because I love you bringing up features for that, because that is probably if I had to say my favorite point an artist can come from is from that point. It's because, like, how do you feel about artists getting on a song with another artist and they're the featured artist and they sound completely different from the song, but it's like their sound? You know what I'm saying? It'd be like if I'm getting on somebody's song, but I'm coming on their song with my sound versus trying to come to their world. Because I feel like if you hop on someone's song, you got to try to come to their world, personally, even if it's adjusting a little bit. You feel me? But I know everybody's different. Some people just like the different mixes on shit. It totally depends on the song, and it totally depends on the artist. Like, if I'm listening to, like, if I know Nas is getting on a feature, I want to hear what Nas does personally, more so than him trying to conform to whatever it is you do. than him trying to be like trappy or melodic or anything like that.
But
You
if
just
I'm
wanna hear
listening,
Nasir.
but if I'm listening to like a Lil Yachty song and I don't know Future's on it, I expect him to conform in a way. You know, just kind of just fit the song.
No, I fuck with it. I mean, that part of me, one of the hardest songs. Wow, that was so crazy.
I mean, he did his own thing on that,
Future,
regardless.
sure.
That might be a bad example, but you know what I'm saying? Like, certain artists, I want them to just do them, regardless.
I just liked him bringing up that example because I think it brought out one of my favorite Chief Keef verses of all time, like being on a song with Mac Miller. You know what I'm saying? So he was, I think it was "Get the Bag" on Good AM.
Okay.
I think it was. It came right before, or right after, or it came right before, or right after a Schoolboy Q interlude. So I don't remember exactly the name of the song, but I remember Keith was on there, and Keith was just on there rapping. You know what I'm saying? And niggas aren't used to seeing that, huh?
Was he doing his thing or kind of conforming?
What? He was conforming to change his style up a little bit from what Keith normally does. And I think even that little change just brought out a different energy in Chief Keef we never had before. You know what I'm saying? And I fuck with that. I fuck with that heavy. But I guess moving along from music, moving along from outside music and moving along from our heat checks and how we've been doing and everything like that. With music yourself, you said you were kind of stunted for a second, but now you have a little bit more of a plan of what you're going into. So what are you looking forward to for the rest of 2021 personally from Mook?
Right now I'm looking forward to really dropping these smaller projects, kind of like packs, kind of maybe 4 songs here, 5 songs here, 3 songs here, kind of shorten it up. I know attention spans are at an all-time low right now, so just trying to, I don't want to say flood it, but stay active with the music and get more visuals out there, but definitely leaning more towards the EP route.
No,
I'm looking to drop a 4-song project next month. And just keep it going from there.
You got a title, or are you holding that for now?
It's called More to Come.
More to come? Yes, sir. Ski. More to come.
Which there is definitely more.
For
sure.
Oh, nigga, we know. My nigga about to go. But with that, I want to tap into that just a tiny bit because I think that's important that artists hear that, especially from another artist. Like, this is where the world is going now, y'all. And so, like, you have to either get with it or get lost. And I'm not mad at it. Like, when you're trying to build organic buzz and when you're trying to create an audience, it's much better for you to just be seen more often than not. And so dropping packs, dropping singles, you're going to command more attention than trying to drop a whole project every year. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't put forth, you don't have the machine behind that project. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm sure nothing feels worse than getting 12 to 15 songs ready and then it just, because of nothing that you could control. You feel me?
I feel you. And
so like putting out a bunch of 3-packs, a bunch of 4-packs just every so often, keeping visuals, keeping your face out there so people can, kind of feel you, for a second and see your moods. Because if you drop 4 in January, I know it's going to sound different from the 4 in June. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm excited to see what you got coming as well. Especially because that bubble was nice.
Appreciate you, bro.
That was a single that my dog dropped earlier this year, produced by...
Shout out my boy D Sheets.
Yes, sir.
The hottest producer in Atlanta right now.
Going crazy right now.
Get that rule number 1, him and DDG. OG yes, Parker.
OG Parker.
Definitely the hottest producer out right now. So.
Oh, scorching. And so definitely big shouts out to him. Big shouts out to y'all's collab. Do you have more, I guess, chances to collab, do you feel like? Because I felt like that sound meshed pretty well together. I mean, it's organic because y'all are friends, you know what I'm saying, too. So that helps more than anything to me with chemistry.
I got a couple in the tuck. Got a couple waiting, still getting them right, but it'll be more.
Yes, sir.
For sure. It'll definitely be another Pretty Mook track produced by my boy D Sheets, for sure.
And do you think that with 2021, the world is opening fast? We're seeing tours announced, festivals, all that. We're in Atlanta. We've been here. Let's be clear. We've been here. And so, like, watching it now, like, really just everywhere kind of bust open. Do you feel like the typical runaround is coming back? And if you do, are you apprehensive of that runaround? And what I mean by the runaround is, the popping up at clubs or popping up in studios, popping up, just showing your face in networking in the city. are you apprehensive of that, or are you okay with that? Because you know, once it starts again, I know you're going to be active as well too.
I'm gonna say that's the inevitable. The close down time was nice to kind of reset and all of that, but we all knew that really wasn't sustainable. Even if it sounds crazy, but even if it was health would say otherwise, we knew that people just weren't gonna stick to that
at all.
And Atlanta is proof of that. So now that they're actually removing mask mandates and stuff like that, you already know. You
give niggas in Atlanta an inch, bro. And we was what? Keisha gave us a little bit. We was ready to go.
It's gonna go right back, extremely. And like, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready to get out and linking these clubs, linking these studios, get the networking back to what it need to be. Because, like I said, that is what it was gonna trend to anyway, regardless of health, which sounds crazy, but that's what it is.
So you're ready. You're just kind of anticipating it at this point. So then, damn, since I know you know a ton of creatives in the city, same here. Like, it's just something we kind of, our network in general, for the most part, most of the people that we have in between are creative people. And so with everyone kind of getting their footing and getting their shit going right now, do you think it's going to be dope? Because that's one of the things I'm most excited for. That's why I keep talking about this summer. But it's not just because, yeah, the summer's hot, people are outside, and it's like opportunity, you know? But it's more of like, I think I see that twinkle in like a lot of my niggas' eyes. You know what I'm saying? Where I see a lot of people ready to go, like ready to at least start putting work in. And so I'm excited to just start working with everybody.
It's going to be a lot of great music, especially in the underground Atlanta scene. There's going to be a lot of great stuff that's coming out soon. Because like I said, everybody's been sitting home just perfecting their music that they got. It's been building up.
You said there's a ton of talent.
A whole lot of talent, especially in underground Atlanta. Like, won't be underground for long, but even during the pandemic, I've been put on to a lot of great artists that, you know, just, I'm sure they've been creating music, but it's only going to turn up from here. Because I feel like the spotlight, even though it's getting shared around the world, it's always going to be on Atlanta.
I was speaking about that earlier. Right now. Like, I think that Memphis, Detroit, like there are certain places that are getting the shine and it looks almost as big as the A, but Memphis right now it seems like Atlanta is still the epicenter though, because Memphis is going crazy, but 3 of their hottest niggas moved here to get on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it isn't talking down Memphis, because Memphis is Memphis I think is my favorite scene in hip hop right now, so I'm gonna be clear there. But it's like, you still know that feeling that Atlanta is it, like Atlanta is the hub, and it still feels like that. So I'm ready to start touching the people and going out and really just seeing where this shit leads, you know? And just seeing like what the fuck we're about to get into, because damn.
Memphis done turned all the way up though. That's just crazy.
What? Nigga, I'm trying to go out there. It seems like niggas is on it.
And that's what's dope about music. Like, this shit just travels. Especially hip hop. It's
horrifying.
It's no ending. There's no ending. There's no ending. I remember everybody thought it would be in New York for forever.
Right?
I know I did it.
What? Niggas thought New York was going to be the coolest city in the world. And then Andre 3000 has something to say about it.
It always changes.
It always changes. And even that's weird to see, because it's been most of our lives, to be honest. If we want to really be real, that it's been Atlanta.
Very true.
It's going to be crazy to see what's next, because we can't hold it. You can't have something forever.
The majority of our lives has been Atlanta. And I don't really see that ending anytime soon, but I'd be interested to see what's next.
Because I wonder if any cities have the infrastructure to do it. That's the only thing I think about. Because I know Memphis is a little bit smaller of a city. You know what I'm saying? Detroit's a big city, but Detroit's already kind of been... No one's trying to move to Detroit, be clear. That's one of the coldest cities in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of got a nice sweet spot right now, so I want to take advantage while we can. But moving on to just like... Moving on from shit that just going around the city, we're going to just keep that open-ended, because obviously we have a lot more to come. And this isn't going to be the last time y'all see Mook. Like, once again, I'm going to be collabing with people every single week. So y'all are going to see my nigga very soon. Really, I think I'm going to try to get you right around when you drop your project, too. So we'll get more music sided. But this is one of my favorite sides of the podcast, at least when it comes to you as well, because I know we both share an interest here. Have you been keeping up with hoops?
Absolutely. This is what I've been waiting on.
Man,
I'm waiting about 10 years. You don't even know why.
Man,
so first though, let's just keep it at that. Let me drink some water first. First off, I'm a Suns fan.
I know my nigga is one of the. My nigga is the only. I want.
OG
There's so
Suns
many of y'all fake niggas out there. I want to be clear.
OG Suns fan.
This is the only nigga I believe when he says he's a Suns fan.
Bro.
How long you been waiting for
I
this?
have been getting laughed at since 2010. It has been a decade.
God damn.
Boy, I was the OG Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion.
They're killers though.
That was my time. That was my time as a
niggas
Suns
too.
fan. I low key gave the fuck up because it's been 10 years since he's been in the playoffs. But yo, my niggas
looking like the one seed.
I would have never thought my boy CP would be the one to bring us back.
That's a fucking winner.
Bring us back where we belong.
That's a fucking winner.
We about to be the one seed.
That's what the Suns about to be the one seed. Bro, I'm happy for y'all.
I need to hide my money from myself because I can't.
You know you want to put it. You know you want to put it down
betting
on your niggas. You want to put it down on your niggas, bro. I've lost too much money with the Pelicans though, so I'm gonna stay clear of that one.
Oh God,
I'm gonna stay clear.
God, that'll do it. That'll do it. Oh my God,
Bruh. So I can only tell you, like, at least from a basketball stance, I can only be happy for Denver. I mean, I can only be happy for Phoenix.
Boy, but trying to tell you, man.
Just because it's a fun team to watch too. Because take it away from like whatever people want to say. I love watching Book Cook. I love watching Chris Paul take advantage of everybody. Because that's the smartest person in the league.
You know, Chris Paul do this everywhere he go.
For sure.
Low key. I mean, he get a lot of hate because he's normally. Well, he gets hurt in inopportune times.
Look at every team he's been on though. Every team he's been on has had a chance to win.
I'm saying, like, he could have, when he was with the Clippers, they had a chance to stop.
They had a window to win.
They had a chance to stop that Warriors dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I can't remember if he got hurt or not, but I know they lost to that team. And then the Warriors just took the fuck.
They just couldn't mesh though, because they were the people that had the opportunity to not let that happen.
I think him and Blake had their little locker room type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, Chris Paul, everywhere he go, he make the team better.
Rockets, only team that took Golden State to 7. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that Rockets team
with Durant.
You feel me? With Durant, what? With Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson on the same team.
That's a legendary.
You took them to 7.
That's a legendary Rockets team right there. Just because you took that team to 7,
bro. There's so many, and they should have won. Let's be clear.
Like, in my opinion, that's the greatest team ever to me.
You can't argue that. You can't argue that because you have 2 of the top 5 shooters of all time on the same team.
It's too much.
What do you do? What do you do? We haven't seen a healthy Klay in 2 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people have forgot what Klay Thompson was. Like, I feel like history. Do you think history? This is one thing that I argue with. I'm not argue with Esco, but we talk about a lot. I think history is about to Pippen Klay, and it's about to make me so sad to watch because I've seen.
What you mean by that?
What I mean by that is the hoopers or the people that have really watched ball. When have you ever heard someone say negative about Pippen? Never. Mm-hmm. But to casual fans, when you talk about Jordan, you always talk about Pippen like he's a Robin, like he's a little, like the little guy that's a perennial all-star. No, that was also a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
And so, like, when we look at Klay, I feel like because Steph changed the game of basketball, people forget Klay Thompson had 37 points and he dribbled the ball like, what was it, twice?
Klay has saved Steph a lot of times.
He's bailed that team out too many times.
Steph is a legend, but come on now.
What?
Klay
should always get his flowers.
Is way more than, not to say Pippen wasn't that nigga too, but Klay, I would damn near put him and Steph on the same level.
That's why it's hard for me to even say Pippen.
Because I feel like them together, you have a playoff team that can get to the Western Conference
versus
Finals.
Anybody.
Just with them two.
Because you can't, either one of them, there's 4 players in the league that I think when they get hot, there's nothing you can do about it. Steph and Klay are 2 of them.
Absolutely.
On the same team. There's nothing you can do about it. My personal other 2 is fucking KD because of how that nigga is just set up, which 3 of them on the same team. Can score from
anywhere on the court at any time.
You feel me? And then you would have to argue fucking Kyrie or Harden for the 4th spot for me. It just depends on the night. But I mean, like, they both could be thrown up there. Like, there are certain players that if they get hot, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. And, like, if this nigga, like, Klay looks like he could be shooting with his eyes closed.
We just got to see how Klay come back, man.
I know.
I don't know. I know sports medicine is at its all-time high, and I know.
But 2 of them.
I know KD came back amazing, even though he got his little knick-knack injuries here and there.
But 2 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
2 of them is hard.
Was it on the same leg?
On the same leg, 2 of them.
ACL and Achilles on the same leg?
Same leg. That's tough.
That's crazy.
That's tough. The only thing is, he didn't really. The only thing that it hurts is he didn't use his athleticism that crazy. Like, he would do his dunks here and there.
Great defender though.
But he was a great defender.
I don't know how
That's going to hurt defense.
How that'll transition.
Because he was one of the best. He was the best guard defender in the league. Him and Drew back and forth for the last almost for the longest time. Like, genuinely, since that fucking dynasty started. Like, for most of our recent history in the league, it's been those two.
I mean, back. He was the one that was guarding Kyrie, not Steph.
Be real.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
without that, even though Kyrie was still going the fuck off, but who knows they would ever beat them? Like,
because there's nothing you could do about it. You just had to try to make it tough for that nigga. And
I don't know if he'll still be able to do that. I hope so.
Clay in his prime,
but if he does,
I got 1B.
I got them right there.
I think Steph is 1A, Clay is 1B. The only reason I even said top 5 was to be respectful, but I think it's 1 and 2. Like it's those two guys. There's no one else on that island when it comes to best shooters ever, for sure. But then moving to, we talked about Phoenix's success. Do you think that team can win? Just being honest. I know, like, we call regular season all-stars. We have to be real.
Of course they can win.
You think so?
Of course they can
win. You think they can get out the West?
Can they win?
7 games for the Lakers or the Clippers?
First off, AD is one wrong step away. I pray it don't happen, but god damn, this nigga is on the ground every chance. Every time I look at the Lakers, it just be one poke in the eye, and this nigga is out for 3 weeks. I have no faith in him. And LeBron is 36. He's the GOAT.
But he's father time.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of our time.
We were just talking about this. I think he's past the age where he can carry a team by himself to the finals.
But what I'm gonna say, this is the Suns' window.
Oh,
this
I'll
year,
agree with you.
This year, I don't even know about next year because Chris Paul's getting older too.
For sure.
But this is their window.
I said if I had a team, this was my exact sentiments earlier when I was speaking about basketball.
My best scenario is that the Lakers get knocked out before they get to the Suns, but I don't know how the season is going to work out.
I was saying that the Suns, this is their Dallas year. Right. This is their 2011 Dallas year. Like, they're the only team in the league I would bet on other than typical picks. Because I feel like the East is Nets or Sixers. I think the West, personally, is probably Clippers or Lakers. But if I had to bet money, it wouldn't even be like niggas think. I think the Jazz are frauds. Like, so I'm not worried about them at all. And so, like, let's move on from them. Denver, they're having injury problems here and there.
Mike Porter Jr. is crazy, though.
Been going crazy. Let's be clear. That nigga nuts.
He's looking like that guy.
What?
I ain't gonna lie. He's looking like that guy.
But
if
I had a solid unit and that knows what they're doing, especially like with leadership of Chris Paul, I think the Suns can do it.
It'll be an amazing series.
What?
But I would put my money on the Suns.
That would be an amazing series, but you got to pick your guys. So I mean, I know you got
to see what Jokic do to my nigga Ayton, but
Jokic Ayton, that's a mismatch to hell. Let's just be clear.
But I'll keep it 100. I don't have nobody beating a fully healthy Nets team. No.
That's the hard part, though. Just because the Nets team, I was thinking about this.
It's the Warriors.
It's a shootout, it's Warriors with less defense. That's the only window people have. Is just like they're gonna score 120 every game. Every game they're gonna get at least 120 because they all have scores, shooters. Like one nigga last night, A. Johnson. I don't even know this nigga name. 20 points and 21 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Too much on that team. But is there a team in the league that can keep up points-wise? Because if you can, that defense makes it a little bit rocky, especially playoffs. They're going to start actually letting them play defense.
I just always say that...
Because if you let Book go crazy...
3 All-Stars is always going to beat whatever you got. Unless they just collapse like the Heat did. But look what that... When they lost to the Mavericks back in the day, but like... look what that took, though. That took LeBron to average, like, 18 points.
Right? For the first time, averaging probably his playoff lowest in history, you know.
Like, he had a terrible series. Like, he was clearly just in his head, or the mob was on that nigga.
The nigga said J.J. Barea had him locked up. I never want to hear that take again.
I think he was in it to the mob or some shit. Or, like, he owed somebody.
He had some Russians at his door.
Let me take this L right now. On some bullshit. Same shit that nigga Harden did back in the day. But, I mean, it'll take something like that. Because you got Kyrie, Harden, and KD.
What do you do?
You're running through the East for
what
one.
What do you do? That East, like, who's stopping them?
Giannis got his jumper looking a little better. He's looking like he's improved, but that's not enough.
Let me be real about the Bucks. Let me look right at the camera to be real about these Bucks. The Bucks, to me, are the new age Hawks. I don't care what seed y'all are. Y'all niggas not doing anything.
That's tough.
And the thing is, I love Drew with all my heart. I want that nigga to win a championship because he should have had one with New Orleans, but we fumble the bag every single year, and that's fine. But them niggas are a non-factor to me. I'm not even thinking about them niggas like, at all. When it comes to the East, the Sixers are the only ones I think that have a chance.
I would have love for the Bucks if there was no Nets. If the Nets just had KD and Kyrie, even though when they just had KD and Kyrie, I felt like that's
still an Eastern Conference Finals.
I felt like they were still winning the East with that. Mm-hmm. You throwing Harden, so I'm like, all right, y'all just doing it.
Then you throwing Blake with fresh legs.
Bro. Joe Harris shooting like clay. Like, come on, I don't have time for this shit, bro. Don't got time for this shit.
Bro, that should be killing me,
You better be lucky LaMarcus Aldridge fucking had a health issue. Like, goddamn.
What? Imagine LaMarcus Aldridge still out there.
I know he old, but damn, that's just too much. Just too much, bro.
It really is too much.
It's still too much.
I think it still is too much as well. But, I mean, it's still interesting to watch. I don't like what niggas are saying personally because I still enjoy the NBA. But I feel like a lot of people are saying, like, the fun is out of it.
It's
and
a
all
foregone
that
conclusion.
shit.
I enjoy it because it's still a lot of great teams.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nets are just always a question mark because someone's always hurt. And the personalities don't necessarily fit together like the Warriors. Mm-hmm. Like the Warriors was like a set thing that was already rolling. Then you just insert KD. Like, of course that's gonna work.
Especially because most of it was drafted too. Like, it was good chemistry.
But they're relatively all new. This is their first full season altogether.
It's a win now situation. Like, they're trying obviously to win that championship.
So ideally, maybe you could say the chemistry's not right, and maybe a team could sneak up and beat them in 4 games. But it's basketball. Like, in a 7-game series, the best team's gonna win 9 times out of 10. There's that last look. There's that chance.
Because if anyone but the Nets leave the East, I think that the finals is wide open.
Oh, then I got the Suns.
For sure, that could be a matchup. I'm trying to think about y'all stacked up versus people.
I don't got time for the Clippers. I don't believe
the Clippers. I don't believe in just because I have to see it, bro.
I don't believe in them boys.
They got to show me first. Like, I really can't.
I don't believe
have faith in them.
I don't believe in playoff
the
P.
Clippers. I can't believe in playoff P from what we've seen, bro. I'm sorry.
Even though he's been cooking, but I ain't
killing. But regular season killer don't matter.
No sir.
Don't matter. I need to see that chip. So then, damn. So give me your Western Conference Finals. Give me your Eastern Conference Finals. Give me your finals, and then give me your winner.
Okay. Mind you, I haven't looked at the seeding.
Of course.
So I'm just going by just what I think.
This is just what you want. I don't know the seeding either.
I want to see the Suns versus the Lakers. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have Brown in there. Gotta have what was the old shit? The banana boat, whatever the fuck. Brown versus Chris Paul. Where I want to see that.
That's funny as shit.
And then on the East. I'm gonna go Heat and Nets.
Heat and Nets.
I know that's real left field, but I
like it though, because I think a lot of people, I don't believe in them personally, but I think a lot of people are undermining that Heat team.
I like the Heat. Mm-hmm. I still like that Heat team. I don't know what Victor Oladipo's situation is right now with his injury. Mm-hmm. But I think that team has a lot of potential in a 7-game series to figure you out. And I feel like they got the best coach in the East.
So then going into exciting. So then if that's your team, so what's the finals?
See, now I'm conflicted. But I'm going to say it's going to be the Lakers and the Nets, man.
Lakers, Nets.
Kind of inevitable.
And then you said you don't think anybody beating that Nets team at 7, so it's Nets champions.
So quiet. But I will say, if LeBron beats the Nets.
What?
If LeBron beats the Nets, yo.
If LeBron beats that Nets team.
Listen.
I promise you, I'm getting a LeBron crown tatted on my neck, and then niggas can't tell me LeBron's not the GOAT.
I'm 27. I barely remember seeing Jordan. I've just looked at the highlights, and I can say, okay, I see why Jordan's better than LeBron. And I truly believe he's the greatest player ever. But if LeBron beat the Nets, bro, he beat the Nets. He beat the Spurs.
The Warriors, bro.
He beat the Warriors.
73-win team.
And he came back from 3-1.
3-1 versus 73-win team.
I don't want to hear it at that point.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it no more. I can't.
I can't.
That shit is over.
I understand the total dominance. Jordan 6-0 in the finals. That's amazing. But look at these teams niggas
Look at the
going
niggas
through
playing,
right now,
bro.
It's not to say Jordan didn't have great teams to go through, but my nigga, it's a difference.
That nigga didn't have to go. That nigga never played somebody that plays like Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. Like
you beating the greatest team ever for one. You came back from 3-1.
What?
And then you beat the Nets.
Like niggas said that you just stormed through an easy as fuck East, right?
Bro, this Nets.
And then this nigga came to the West and got a championship.
Bro. First off, just the way they ran through the West last year was just disrespectful.
Laughing the whole time, like they were having the time of their lives in a Boys and Girls Club.
But nah, if they beat the Nets, LeBron is definitely the GOAT. But if I had to throw in my DraftKings bet, I'm gonna say the Nets in 6.
If the next one, it's 6, I think.
Nets in 6.
If they make it to 7, Bron's gonna be in KD's head.
Nets in 6. I'm not the biggest fan of the Lakers roster this year, personally.
I just am too big of a fan of Bron himself. I'm a big fan of Caruso.
I don't think they should have let Rondo go.
They shouldn't have let Rondo go. They should have had Rondo for one more.
I'm not the biggest Andre Drummond fan.
Andre Drummond, I think, was definitely a big party for not as much as people think they may have gotten.
Like Drummond is dope. I mean, it's a good pickup, but I just don't feel like it's not gonna move the needle in the playoffs, especially not against a team like the Nets, because he probably won't even be able to play much.
He plays old school. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like how they used to do Dwight when they had Dwight, and he just played sparingly here and there. This is gonna be the same thing with Drummond.
Oh damn. That's all I basically had for today, to be honest. Did you have anything else you wanted to throw in?
Hey, man. More to come next month.
Yes, sir. This is shorter for sure. I try to keep it at a decent time frame only because of the fact that I'm already set in stone planning to get Mook on when he's about to drop his project as well. And by that, we'll definitely have more NBA takes and more with the current life and like pop culture and things going on too. This one, I just wanted to take more of a time to dive into just some of your thoughts on stuff. So I didn't want to really make it as much pop culture-y, but I definitely appreciate you coming on, my guy.
Always, my guy. Anytime.
Yes, sir. And so with that one, yes, sir, Ski. I'm Chuka, and all your shouts-outs and everything.
Pretty Mookie. Mook_Sprockets on all social media platforms. In-house ATL. That is the movement. That is the team. Shout out my guy, AC Lane, Kilo 2 times on 5.
Big shout out
Whole
in-house.
team, man.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all take it easy. This is the Offspace.